It would have been great if we could have heard from small businesses last year when this tax law was being written. That would have been a far better time when we might have actually had some impact on the contents of the law. Unfortunately, small businesses, like so many other taxpayers, academics, and experts in this area, were all cut out of the process when a decision was made to rush this bill through without any public hearings. Now we today, like last week, basically have a public relations exercise to try to put the best face on legislation that was designed to provide a windfall for Wall Street banks and for multinationals, and for whom small businesses were basically an afterthought. If the length of this hearing were designed to reflect the portion of this tax bill that really benefits small businesses, we would need to conclude right now before you even testify. For small business owners, we have basically a tax bait and switch. After dressing up the pass-through provisions as a big help for mom and pop small businesses, we've learned that almost half of the overall benefits from this particular provision go to those who make more than $1 million per year. And within a few years, 2/3 of the pass-through small businesses will be left with a mere 4% of the benefits, while more than half of it will go to those making at least $1 million each year. For too many here in Congress, small business seems to be, well, the kind of enterprise Donald Trump runs. Not so many employees, a real estate mogul. And while continuing to hide his personal tax returns and those for his 500 pass-through entities that may well have benefited significantly from this travesty, we find tucked into the provisions of the final tax bill, tucked in from the conference committee, even though neither the House nor Senate considered them, a special provision tailor-made for real estate operations similar to what Trump does. Few employees, but a significant amount of depreciable property. As one recent study concluded, for small businesses, the new pass-through deduction is, quote, unlikely to generate enough tax savings to hire new employees or make significant operational improvements or capital investments. Indeed, a recent survey of small businesses, another one, found that for about 7 in 10, nothing in the new tax law will result in the hiring of new employees. Small businesses, I think, deserve a level playing field. We shouldn't be picking winners and losers. Unfortunately, that's exactly what this tax law did. Since the recession, we know that small businesses have created 2 of every 3 private sector jobs. But the focus of this new tax law was to see how much more help we can provide to large multinational corporations. Most of the small businesses that I deal with in Texas can't afford an offshore tax haven, don't have a jillion offshore subsidiaries. It's just not fair when Pfizer, which has 157 subsidiaries and tax havens, pays such a much lower rate than the corner pharmacy, even though it's Pfizer that especially needs national security and the economy, the infrastructure, the education that America provides it. We've recently learned how one multinational plans to use the windfall it got from this tax law. Since September of 2017, when Speaker Ryan visited a Harley-Davidson plant up in Wisconsin to tout the gold at the end of the corporate tax break rainbow, what have we learned about Harley-Davidson? Well, it shuttered its plant, it laid off 350 people, it showered its wealthy shareholders with $700 million in stock buybacks, and it's opening a new factory in Thailand, a factory that will benefit from a new provision, a new incentive for offshoring jobs. So I'm eager to hear from you. I'm sure that there are some exceptions to the rule that we'll hear about today. I think overall, every small business, including those that might have had some immediate benefit from this bill, will find themselves facing more difficulty with access to capital. When I visit with small